Your skin instructor's tip of the week. Stop teaching clients that a good peel means they have to visibly peel. Visible peeling can happen, and for some peels, it's definitely expected, but shedding is not the only sign that a treatment worked. A chemical peel is really about controlled renewal. We're trying to improve the tone, the texture, cell turnover, congestion, pigment, and overall skin health. Some clients will peel a lot, some will flake lightly, and some may barely notice visible peeling at all. But that does not automatically mean that the peel failed. So instead of saying you're going to peel for a few days, try saying this treatment is designed to create controlled skin renewal. You may see peeling, but the goal is healthier, brighter, more even skin over time. That small shift is going to help clients stop chasing trauma and start understanding results.
Mm-hmm. Welcome back to the Skin Instructors. I'm Jolie.
And I'm Morgan. And today we're talking about chemical peels for pigmentation. And this is such a good follow-up to our pigment correcting ingredients episode because now we're moving from home care into professional treatment strategy.
Chemical peels can be amazing for pigmentation, but they can also be one of the easiest ways to worsen pigment if they are chosen incorrectly. That's not meant to scare anyone away from peels at all whatsoever. It's just a reminder that pigment does require some clinical thinking.
Yeah, absolutely. A client comes in with discoloration, acne marks, melasma, or sun damage, and it's easy to think, okay, let's peel. Mm-hmm. But pigment does not automatically mean peel. We need to know what type of pigment we're treating, mm-hmm. how deep it is, what caused it, mm-hmm. the client's Fitzpatrick type, and then how healthy their barrier is and whether the lifestyle and home care is going to support that kind of treatment.
Yeah, so today we're going to talk about how to determine if someone is actually a peel candidate, epidermal versus dermal pigmentation, Fitzpatrick considerations, superficial versus medium depth peels, and an overview of some common options like Jesner's, Mandelic, glycolic, lactic, salicylic, TCA, and one of our favorites, VI peel.
And of course, we'll talk about the prep, the post-care, avoiding PAH, and when peels are not the best option.
Mm-hmm. So before we talk about specific acids, we have to start with the consultation. This is where you decide if the client is actually ready for a peel. A lot of clients come in already knowing what they think they want. They'll say, I need a peel, or I want the strongest peel, or my friend peeled for a week and her skin looked amazing. But our job is not just to give them the treatment they ask for. Our job is to figure out whether their skin can tolerate it. I want to know what their current home care is, any recent sun exposure, medications or retinol use, past peel reactions, history of cold sores, whether they pick at their skin, whether they hyperpigment easily, and whether they actually wear sunscreen.
Yeah, and also barrier health is going to be huge here. If the skin is irritated or inflamed, dehydrated, stripped, or reactive, I'm not thinking, let's peel this. Yeah. I'm thinking, let's calm this down first. Mm-hmm. Because when the barrier is compromised, that irritation risk is going to go up. And when irritation goes up, the risk of PIH goes up.
Mm-hmm. That's why not yet can be a really professional answer still. You can tell the client, I do think peels could help you, but your skin needs better prepared first. Let's spend 4 to 6 weeks getting your home care consistent, strengthening your barrier, and then we'll revisit the peel. Mm-hmm. That gives them a plan without putting their skin at any unnecessary risk.
I love that. Yeah, one of the biggest things we need to understand with pigment is the depth. Mm-hmm. So epidermal pigment is more superficial. It's going to sit higher on the skin. So it usually responds better to topical ingredients, those brighteners, retinoids, sunscreen, and even superficial chemical peels. This might include some acne marks, mild sun damage, or surface level uneven tone, mm-hmm. while dermal pigment is going to be deeper, and that's where expectations need to be different. Mm-hmm. We are not simply going to just peel that off. It may take a longer treatment plan, and peels may be only a part of that strategy.
Yeah, and then there's melasma, which can be epidermal, dermal, or mixed. And melasma is tricky because it's not just pigment sitting on the surface. It was often like hormonal, inflammatory, vascular, heat, UV, and visible light triggers. So if we treat melasma with a stronger is better mindset, we can absolutely flare it. Sometimes a slow, conservative approach with pigment inhibitors, barrier support, and then a strict tinted SPF can be smarter than just chasing aggressive peeling, depending on the person.
Exactly. And this is where that client education matters. I never want to promise that a peel series is going to erase melasma as much as I want it to.
Right.
I'd rather say something like, okay, this is something we manage. We can improve it, but maintenance and protection are going to be ongoing. And that kind of honesty is really going to build trust.
Yeah, absolutely. So now Fitzpatrick type has a major impact on peel selection. The more melanin rich the skin, the more thoughtful we need to be about inflammation and risk of PIH. And to be clear, deeper skin tones can absolutely receive chemical peels. The point is not no peels. The point is proper peel selection, skin prep, conservative pacing when needed, and really good post-care.
Absolutely. Yeah. We're not going to avoid treatment here. We are going to avoid unnecessary trauma, though. So for Fitzpatrick's 4 through 6, I want to know if they've had any history of dark marks after acne, bug bites, scratches, burns, or previous treatments. If every little injury is going to leave pigment behind, that tells me that their melanocytes are very reactive, and I need to respect that. That might mean I'm going to start with gentler options and work them up. I might space the treatments more appropriately, space them out a little further. Focus very heavily on prepping their skin before peels, and then choose the best ingredients that are going to support that correction without causing excessive inflammation.
And that's a really big theme here. Stronger doesn't always mean smarter. More peeling does not always mean better results. And with pigment, controlled and consistent usually wins.
So let's quickly break down peel depth. Superficial peels work mostly in the epidermis, and these are the peels that estheticians commonly use to improve dullness, texture, congestion, mild acne, even fine lines and epidermal pigmentation. And I think superficial peels get underestimated. The word superficial does not mean weak. A series of well-chosen superficial peels with great home care can really create beautiful results.
Yeah. Medium depth peels penetrate deeper and can address more significant pigment, texture, and photo aging, but they also come with more risk, maybe more downtime, and more need for proper prep and application. Depending on the peel, the strength, and the state regulations, some medium depth peels may be physician performed or medically directed, so just know your scope. And when it comes to pigment, deeper is not automatically better. The goal is not to create the biggest injury. The goal is just to create a safe, controlled environment and knowing which layer to work within. So let's go through some of the common peel options. Starting with AHAs, we have glycolic, lactic, and mandelic. These are all water-soluble solutions or acids that help with superficial exfoliation, cell turnover, texture, dullness, and uneven tone. Glycolic acid comes from sugarcane and has smaller molecular size, so it's going to penetrate more quickly. It can be great for texture, epidermal pigmentation, poor appearance, and fine lines. But because it is more active, I'm cautious with reactive skin or impaired barriers, and sometimes even higher Fitzpatricks that aren't properly prepped yet.
Another AHA that we love, lactic acid. It's derived from milk and tends to be more hydrating and gentle. I like it for skin that's dry, dehydrated, or more sensitive clients who still need that brightening and exfoliation. but may not be able to tolerate more aggressive acids. And then mandelic acid, that one's derived from bitter almonds. It has a larger molecular size, so it penetrates more slowly into the skin. And that makes it one of my favorites for pigment-prone skin, acne-prone skin, sensitive skin, and clients where we want to move carefully. It can help with texture, congestion, acne, and hyperpigmentation, but it tends to be more forgiving.
And then we have salicylic acid, which is a BHA. So it's oil soluble, so it can penetrate into the pore and help dissolve sebum, keratin, and cellular debris. This is a great option when pigmentation is tied to acne. If the client keeps breaking out and every breakout leads to a dark mark, we can't only treat the pigment, we have to treat that acne too. Salicylic acid can help decongest clogged pores, reduce breakouts, refine texture, and because it has anti-inflammatory properties, it can be useful for some skin of color clients when chosen appropriately.
Jesner's is another classic option for peels. It's often used for acne, oil, congestion, texture, and pigment. And depending on the formulation, it may contain ingredients like salicylic acid, lactic acid, and resorcinol. Jesner can be really effective, but it does need to be respected. This is not a peel where we just keep layering because we want something dramatic. We really need to watch the skin, know our endpoints, and understand the client's risk level.
And then we have TCA, or trichloroacetic acid. TCA is a stronger peeling agent that comes in different strengths and can be used for texture, fine lines, acne, scarring, and hyperpigmentation. But TCA does require some careful client selection, prep, and post-care. It can create more significant injury, which means more potential for complications if the wrong client is treated or if the skin is not ready. So with TCA, we have to ask, is this within my scope? Is the client truly a candidate? Are they prepared for the downtime? And is this actually the safest option for their pigment?
All right, let's talk about VI peel because this is one of our absolute favorites per pigmentation. And honestly, after being in LA in May for the VI peel Elevate training, I feel like we both just walked away really like with a deeper appreciation for the brand and the formulas and the story behind it.
Yeah, and I do kind of think that story matters with VI Peel because it wasn't just created to be another professional peel on the market. I mean, it was created by Dr. Khalil, who founded Vitality Institute in 2005. And then his daughter, Maria, was struggling with acne as a teenager, and he wanted to create something that could help her skin without putting her through unnecessary pain or trauma. And then Maria is a woman of color, so safety was such a huge part of the development. He needed something that could be effective, but also appropriate for her skin tone and her age. That part's just so inspiring to me because this peel came from a real place, a very real place, a father wanting to help his daughter feel confident in her skin.
I love their story.
I know.
It's amazing. Yeah, and I think that's why we feel so comfortable talking about VI peel as truly one of the safest peel systems on the market when it's used correctly and on the right candidate, of course. You know, it was designed with skin of color in mind, and it was designed to create results without unnecessary pain. And now Maria is the president and CEO of Vitality Institute, and she is just continuing that mission of making advanced skin correction more approachable, more inclusive, and more effective. I just really love that full circle moment.
Me too. And when we're talking about pigmentation specifically, VI Peel gives a structured way to treat pigment without just saying, let's go stronger. It's a system. So there's a protocol, there's post-care that the client takes home, and then there's different peel options, and then there's a lot of education just built into the process.
Yeah. So the core VI peel blend is also really interesting because it uses a combination of ingredients each of them under 15%, which is part of what makes the formula so elegant. Instead of relying on one super aggressive acid, it uses a blend that works beautifully together. So the 5 core ingredients are TCA, which Jolie mentioned is very results driven. It's actually penetrates deeper than glycolic acid. Then you have your retinoic acid, phenol, which is, we'll talk a little bit about, is an amazing ingredient. We love it. Salicylic acid, and then ascorbic acid, your vitamin C.
Yeah, so let's break those down just a little. So TCA helps penetrate into the papillary dermis, and it's going to help support fibroblast renewal and collagen synthesis. So that's part of why we see improvement in the texture, tone, and signs of aging. And then we have the retinoic acid that's going to help support cell turnover and help with pigment correction, texture, and then just overall skin renewal.
Yep, and then that third ingredient, phenol, that is a vasoconstrictor and helps reduce chronic inflammation and fibroblast stress. It also works as a topical anesthetic, which is one of the reasons that VI peel is known for being a more comfortable peel than what most people expect when they get a professional peel done.
Then we have that salicylic acid, which is oil soluble. So it can get into the pores, break down oil and debris. And that's especially helpful when treating acne, congestion, PIH from breakouts.
The 5th ingredient to their core is ascorbic acid, which is vitamin C. So it's going to give the skin an antioxidant support while helping neutralize oxidative stress, support collagen production. And then for pigment, antioxidant support matters so much because oxidative stress can help trigger discoloration.
That's what I love about the formula. So it's not just exfoliating, it's addressing pigment, inflammation, acne, congestion, texture, and oxidative stress just from different multiple angles.
Yeah, and then when we look specifically at the VI Peel Precision Plus peptides, this is where it gets really exciting for pigmentation. So that peel is designed for more stubborn pigmentation concerns like someone who's struggling with melasma, UV damage, hyperpigmentation, and PIH. And it's powered by their smart peptide technology, a retinoid accelerator, and antioxidant brighteners.
Yeah. So that peptide technology includes ingredients like the melanicalm peptide or nanopeptide 1, which helps regulate melanin, fade appearance of dark spots, and promote healing. Then we have the skin boost peptide or tetrapeptide 30, which is going to help calm inflammation and support the skin barrier. And that's just such a big deal because pigment is not just about the melanin production. It could also be about inflammation. And if the skin's inflamed, that melanocyte can stay activated.
Yeah, and then they have a retinoid accelerator piece that's going to include the hydroxypenocholine retinoate, or HPR, and that's a bioavailable retinoid. It binds directly to your skin receptors, and it's going to support the tone, the texture, and the cell turnover, but it's known for being less irritating than some traditional retinoids. So for pigment, that's really important because we want that turnover, but we don't want to create that unnecessary irritation that could worsen your PIH.
And then we have the antioxidant brighteners that include hexylresorcinol, kojic acid, and vitamin C. So hexylresorcinol helps reduce pigmentation, it protects collagen, and it supports glutathione. Kojic acid and vitamin C help fade dark spots and support antioxidant defense. So again, we're not just relying on one pathway. We're coming at pigment from several different directions.
Yeah, and that's why that Precision Plus peptide peel is such a great option when we're treating pigment-prone clients who need more than just a basic brightening peel. It's not just hey, let's exfoliate the pigment. It's going to help suppress excess melanin production. It's going to calm the inflammation. It's going to support the barrier and accelerate healthy turnover while protecting against oxidative stress.
And then we also have the VI Peel Purify with Precision Plus Peptides, which is beautiful when acne and pigment are happening together. Because if someone has active acne, post-acne pigmentation, oil, congestion, inflammation, and textural scarring, we have to treat both sides of the issue. So we can't just chase dark marks while the acne is still creating new ones.
Yeah, and that's where VI Peel does a really great job at giving us some different options for different pigment presentations. You know, someone with melasma and UV damage could be a better fit for the Precision Plus peptides, while someone with acne or PIH, congestion, inflammation would be better with Purify with Precision Plus peptides. But either way, we still have to do that full consultation. We're still looking at Fitzpatrick type, barrier health, lifestyle, their home care, contraindications, and how compliant they're going to be.
Yeah, we love the eye peel, but we can still respect the peel.
Absolutely.
No peel's magic, and no peel replaces sunscreen, and it doesn't replace the home care. So with that, we do recommend at least 3 to 6 treatments from it. 1's a treat, 3's a treatment. And no peel should be done on a client who's not willing to follow the aftercare.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, please just tell them now. Yeah, I think that's the biggest takeaway. That VI Peel is one of our favorite peel systems because it's very effective. It's very, inclusive, structured and rooted in such an inspiring story. But the results still come from choosing the right peel for the right client at the right time and providing the right education.
Exactly. And with pigmentation, that structure matters so much because the goal is not just to peel. The goal is to correct pigment safely, protect the skin, and prevent the pigment from coming right back.
Love that. Yeah, if you guys have any questions about either of those peels, send us a message. We actually we got both of those listed. I did the Precision Plus peptides, and Julie did the Purify with Precision Plus.
Yeah.
In May, so we can share our love for it.
Yeah, absolutely. So skin prep is one of the most important parts of a successful peel, especially when treating pigmentation. Ideally, clients should be on professional home care regimen for about 4 to 6 weeks before starting a peel series. The goal is to normalize the skin, strengthen the barrier, reduce inflammation, and prepare the skin to respond evenly. That might include a good cleanser, an antioxidant, a pigment inhibitor, and a gentle retinoid or an exfoliant, moisturizer, and then you want a broad spectrum SPF.
And of course, SPF is non-negotiable. If the client's not going to wear sunscreen before the peel, I'm not confident that they're suddenly going to become perfect with it after the peel. So for your pigment-prone clients, especially your melasma clients, I also want to talk about visible light and heat with them. Tinted SPF with iron oxides can be super important, and avoiding heat triggers may matter too. Prep's not just about better results, it's really about reducing that risk. Now, after the peel, home care needs to be very simple and clear. So a gentle cleanser, a moisturizer, SPF, and whatever post-peel products are included in the protocol. This is not the time for clients to experiment with their actives or scrubs, maybe a mask that they found at Target. Or retinoids, acids, whatever random brightening products, just put them aside.
Yeah. And no picking.
No.
So that is one of the biggest things we have to say over and over. If skin is flaking, let it flake. Do not pull it. Don't scrub it. And don't steam it off. Don't try to speed it up because peeling skin can create more irritation, can create raw spots, inflammation, and even more pigment. I have accidentally, just not thinking, picked up piece off my skin, and I had a bad PIH mark there, and I needed to do a few more peels to get rid of it.
Yeah. If you're a picker, I would get some of those like little cuticle scissors and cut off your dead skin.
Cut off the big pieces. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. After a peel, clients also need to avoid direct sun, tanning, of course, excessive heat. So, saunas, hot yoga, anything that increases irritation based on the peel protocol. And the peel does not end when they leave the treatment room. What they do for the next several days is really, really important.
Yep. Avoiding PIH is one of the biggest responsibilities we have when treating pigment-prone skin. PIH happens when inflammation triggers melanocytes to produce more pigment. So if we're treating pigment, but we create too much inflammation, we can make the skin darker instead of brighter. That's why correct peel selection, prep, conservative application, clear post-care, and realistic timing are going to matter so much.
And sometimes peels are also not the best option. So if you have a client that has an impaired barrier or active irritation, maybe a recent sunburn or uncontrolled inflammation, someone who refuses to wear SPF,
Yeah.
I'm pausing. I'm not doing the peel that day. But same with like melasma. If it's actively flaring, I may start with pigment inhibitors or barrier repair and tinted SPF and education before considering that peel.
I love that because sometimes the skin is technically a candidate, but the client's expectations are not. So if they think a single peel is going to erase years worth of pigment, we need to educate before we treat. Pigment took time to form and it's going to take time to correct.
A series of peels can be very, very helpful, often spaced a few weeks apart depending on the peel and the client. But progress depends on the type of pigment, how consistent the client is with home care and sun protection, and how the skin responds. All right, homework time. So this week, choose one peel that you use in your treatment room or even a peel you've been curious about and study it beyond the marketing description. Look at the ingredients, the acid type, the depth, the ideal candidate, contraindications, expected downtime and post-care, and what type of pigmentation it's best suited for.
Yeah, I love that. And then write out a mini consultation plan for that peel. Who is going to be the right client? Who's not the right client? How would you prep the skin? And what would you tell them to stop using before the treatment? What would post-care look like? And how would you explain realistic results?
And then your bonus is write one sentence you can use with clients who think that more peeling means better results. Something like visible peeling can happen, but the goal is controlled renewal, not maximum shedding.
Chemical peels can be an amazing option for pigmentation, but the success of the treatment depends on choosing the right peel for the right client at that right time. It's not just about the acid, it's about the pigment type, the cause, the depth, Fitzpatrick type, barrier health, home care, lifestyle, and compliance.
Yeah, and sometimes the best treatment plan starts before the peel ever even touches the skin. Prep's going to matter. Your SPF is going to matter.
Yeah.
Your post care is going to matter. And knowing when not to peel also matters.
That's what makes you a thoughtful provider. You're not just trying to create the most dramatic peel, you're trying to create a safe, visible, long-term improvement.
If you've loved this episode, make sure you subscribe so you don't miss the next one. And come hang out with us on Instagram at SD Training. We share episode updates, education, and behind-the-scenes content, along with extra resources for all of our lovely SDs.
Yes, and don't forget to visit our website, www.sdtraining.com, where you can subscribe and join our community, where we have monthly education coming out.
Thank you so much for listening to the Skinstructors. We'll see you next time.
And don't hesitate to educate.